Hey, y'all. Welcome to today's episode of the Squad Podcast. I'm your girl, your coach, Coach Tocha Moore, and I'm super excited to be here with you today. I have this lovely, beautiful lady sitting next to me, and I can't wait to introduce y'all to her. Y'all, let me check in with you first. How are we doing? How are things? How is everything? I hope that all is well with you. Are we reaching our goals? Have we done what we said? If yes, we're going to give ourselves a big old hug and say, yes, girl, yes. If not, it's okay. Clap it up, clap it down. New slate, new day, start again. You're not too far behind. You just got to get moving. So, y'all, I'm so excited to have Miss Jackie Jackson in the building. Say, hey, squad. I'm so thankful that she was interested and said, yes, I would love to be on the podcast. So today is an episode that I absolutely feel will resonate with people who've gone through this. And we're talking about blended families. Oh, that's a good one, right? How do you navigate those waters? How do you get to a place of being able to coexist with a blended family? So I'm excited to dive in. Are you ready, Jackie?
I'm ready.
All right, she's ready. So we're going to have a great conversation. Y'all, let's get into it. All right. So, Miss Jackie, welcome to the squad.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for saying yes to come. I'm so excited for our conversation today. I think it's going to be so beneficial for women who it doesn't always get talked about, right?
It doesn't. And
Yeah.
there's so much that I wish I knew prior to this that I'm like, yes, let's talk about it. If I can help one person beforehand, I feel like the Lord has blessed me to do that.
Amen. Do y'all hear that? Okay. I was like, you know what? I don't know that I've ever heard anyone do anything about blended families. Other than that, my church, they just actually started a class because our praise and worship leader, he has one. So it's like, this is something that people have to navigate and like, how do they do it well? Because you know, we want to do it in a right way because there are kids involved and all the things, right? All right, so we're about to get into it. Let's go, y'all. All right. So Miss Jackie is an entrepreneur and mom. She does education for little children. What do you want to add? What are you going to let the squad know about you?
First of all, I love being a mom. I feel like that was something that I was called to do. It's a job that I can't get fired from, but it is one of the hardest jobs I have ever done. But I'm grateful to do it.
And man, we're going to clap it up for that. Y'all listen, we're going to clock in and say that being a mom is the hardest job that I've ever
had.
Ever.
I've had a couple jobs. This is by far the hardest.
Same, because there is no clock out. There is no, like you said, we can't get fired. We're a mom no matter what. So, yeah, navigating children, I tell people all the time, it depends on which way the wind blows.
Right.
Okay. They're like, how are you? I'd like to say, well, but I have 2 teenage daughters.
Yeah.
I have 3. My oldest is gone, but yeah, I'm raising 2 teenagers right now. So pray for me. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'll pray for you. Yes. Okay. So anything else you want to add?
I have to shout out my husband. I have been married for 10 years, Ronnie. I love you so much. I could not do motherhood the way that I'm able to do motherhood without the partner that I have. Like, he makes a huge difference on how I parent, but the way I get to parent, like, it is, clap it up for him.
Okay. Did y'all hear that?
Without him.
The way she gets to parent, I love it.
Yeah.
Amen for the partners out there that's making it easy for us. Okay. Yes. I love that. I love that. You're bringing him out. He's such a gentle spirit. Yes, such a sweet boy. Okay, listen. There are good ones out there. Did you hear that? That's a nugget, okay? All right. So the first question that I had for you was, what were some of the biggest or challenges that you didn't expect when you were stepping in? If you want to give us like the backstory of like you and Ronnie.
So backstory, like I said, we've been married for 10 years. Prior to us getting married, I was adamant. I'm never dating anybody with kids. Like, that was for a long time a non-negotiable. Like, even as we were dating, I was like, I don't know. But I am also a product of a blended family. Everybody knows my dad, but they don't know that that's my stepdad, because he's been in my life since I was 5.
Oh, wow.
So that's all I really know. I do have some of a relationship with my biological dad, but it's hit or miss. It's very dicey. But like, my dad is my dad. So that's all I know. So how I grew up in a blended family. That's what I was expecting walking into starting a blended family. And boy, was I surprised.
Oh, okay. So what do you feel like the biggest surprise was for you?
Just not knowing what my place was. My husband is great, but I also had to understand the dynamic of he has to parent the way he sees fit. And their mom's going to parent the way she sees fit. Regardless if I agree with either one of their parenting styles, I still had to, A, support my husband, but also learn to be quiet because, yes, I have a say, but not as big of a say as their parents do. So that was interesting walking in because from my experience, my dad always had a say because he's always been my dad.
Okay.
And so it was an interesting of finding my footing while still allowing the parents to be parents. It has been an interesting dance, I would say. And I didn't go into it like trying to overstep because I wasn't a parent. Like I didn't have kids. So I'm watching you be a father and I'm like, but I also have an education in early childhood. And I'm like, well, we could do things a little bit different. And I had to be okay with their no. And that was a hard pill to swallow because some of it is pride and some of it is I'm just trying to help. And so that was probably the biggest hurdle was finding my footing within the dynamic that I'm walking into.
Listen, did y'all hear the gem she just dropped? I hope y'all caught it, squad. She's telling you that it's okay for you to feel that hesitation with like trying to find your footing and figure out where do I fit in. I guess it would maybe be the same if people are divorced and you know that like I'm saying, my biological father was not in my life, so my dad was my dad. He's the only one I know, and he never treated me any different. But then as I got older, it was apparent that people were like, "Oh yeah, but that's not his daughter."
Right.
And I'm like, "But yes, I am," you know, because he raised me. But yeah, okay, he always had to say because he was the only dad that I knew.
That's all I
Right.
feel.
Okay.
And so me walking into their routine and having to adjust to how they do things was a little complicated at first because I'm going from a single woman to an instant family. That's not something that I thought about at 23 years old when I got married, and nobody was telling me, hey, this is what you're walking into. Everybody's like, okay, you know, he has kids. You have to present yourself a certain way, but nobody was telling me what that way looked like. And so I was like, oh, this is.
So how old were they when you guys?
So when I met them, they were 2, turning 3.
Okay.
When we got married, they were 3. So they were toddlers, still attached to what they knew. And so now that they're 13, now I'm battling teenagers, which is a whole different ballgame.
We ain't gonna talk about it, okay? We're not even gonna talk about it today. Because listen, teenagers are just different.
It's different. And so going through the toddler stage, but now they're twins. So now not only does he have one kid, there's 2 of them with 2 different personalities and everybody wants to love them the same. But when you realize you're dealing with 2 different kids that do 2 different things, that want 2 different things, communication style is different. It was a lot to adjust to. But I needed everybody to know that it wasn't a lack of I didn't love them. I'm just trying to figure out because I've never been a parent before. I'm also walking alongside 2 people that have a difficult relationship as is. So putting me into the mix, I felt like I got blamed for a lot of things that weren't necessarily true, but it's okay. Just you learn to roll with it.
Right. So listen. The difficulties of navigating marriage, one, that's a whole thing within itself. And then you're walking in like, okay, he has children already. All right, I got to try to navigate those waters. And then I guess my question would be, how did you navigate like being able to stay true to who you were? You know what I'm saying? Because you said there's that expectation of people like, you got to present yourself like this. And it's like, yes and no.
It took a lot of tears.
Yeah.
It was a lot of processing. It was a lot of growing, but it was a lot of communicating with my husband. I had to silence the outside noise. And I would say that was probably the hardest thing was to silence everyone and realize that he married me for a reason. And he knew once marrying me meant I was going to be a part of their lives. And he trusted me in that. And so I had to learn to trust myself in that, which was difficult. And it was difficult because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I had so much education, but education goes out the window when you're trying to actually navigate children.
Yeah.
What's on a piece of paper is different than what they present.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're navigating two different personalities at toddlers are hard. They're hard. So I took a lot of crying, and it didn't go away overnight. It took years of me finding my footing. I feel like now I'm in a place where I'm confident enough to know that I'm a great mom. I'm a great bonus mom. I'm great at what I do, and nobody can tell me otherwise outside of my kids or my husband. Those are the only people that get to tell me I'm not doing something correct because it only affects them. Everybody else, they don't live in my house, pay my bills. They're not with me in the trenches. And so once I silenced that, and I'm talking about family, I'm talking about friends that didn't know, but I was also going to friends that did have kids that weren't in the same situation.
Right.
So I'm taking in all of this outside noise, and it created so much hostility within myself. But I'm like, okay, I got to put all this down. This isn't working for me.
Right.
And I feel like the Lord really touched me in that. He was like, are you trusting everybody else or are you ready to trust me? And I was like,
Did y'all hear it? A few things that I just have to recap. Humility, y'all. She was like, I had to put my pride aside and say, okay, I say silence the background noise. We can get a clear picture when we just alleviate all the expectations and dissertations and all the things that people want to give us, not ill intent at all. They really are trying to help.
right.
But it was about you and Ronnie saying, okay, how are we going to navigate this? And then the twins, like we all have to be
Right.
with one accord before we could ever let anybody else in on the cord,
Right.
So I love that you said, like, it took some tears, y'all. It took some crying. It took some times, but you were willing to do it though. And that's the beauty. And I love what you said about this man married me for a reason and he trusted me with them. So I had to learn to trust me. Y'all, that's a nugget. We have to learn to trust ourselves in the difficult situations that happen in life because for whatever reason, we're being entrusted with it. Even though we may not understand it or know how to navigate it, we're being trusted with what we're going through. I love that. That was so beautiful.
It took some time, y'all.
Yeah.
So then fast forward, we have our own child. And so now finding the balance of what that looks like and then being ridiculed because I'm doing one thing with my child that didn't necessarily look like what I was doing over here, but it wasn't my place. And I had to be okay with that wasn't my place. And once I was okay with that wasn't my place, what everybody said didn't matter. Even what they said, because if I'm going to be real, when my mom didn't like somebody as a child, I didn't like them either.
Okay, listen.
If I heard stuff that I wasn't supposed to hear as a child and my mom said no, I'm going with my mom, regardless of who it is. So when those kinds of attacks and things happen, I had to realize that I had to put myself in her shoes. I had to put myself in my husband's shoes, but I also had to put myself in his kids' shoes and realize, take yourself out of it. This is your pride talking. You knew when you walked in here, you had to put self aside. You cannot be selfish if you're going into a blended family because it's not about you. Are there parts that are about me? Absolutely. But when it comes to the parenting side, it's not always about you. And so where we are today, I'm so grateful for all that happened because I feel like we're finally at a place where smooth sailing. Now, are there some hiccups? Are there bumps? Of course. Is it incredibly awkward sometimes when you're out and they people hear you say, or hear the boys call me Miss Jackie. I'm okay with that. Why does that bother everybody else? I'll never understand. But I'm okay with that. It took some time. And no, I never wanted to be mom. Their mom is alive and well. That is her place. But I had to understand that it's okay for me to be Miss Jackie. It's okay for me to be stepmom, even though that's not a name I'm comfortable with.
I know. I wrote bonus mom on my notes because she is a bonus mom.
But I had to realize that I am somebody that extra. I get to love them extra. I get to cheer extra for them. I get to be somebody that supports them extra. And I'm okay that they look at me that way, regardless of what the world feels like they should look at me for or I should get praise for. No.
Y'all, did you hear that? I'm going to reframe it for y'all in case y'all didn't catch it. This service is more important than the title.
Yes.
Did y'all hear that? Like, her serving those children well became more important than the title or the label that the world wanted to say it needed to be. You know, being extra for them,
Right.
extra love, extra cheering. That's so beautiful. Y'all better learn to be extra. I say it all the time. I'm all
Extra.
things extra.
Right. It's a dynamic that I had to understand because growing up, he was never extra to me. My dad was my dad.
Mm,
And so there wasn't another person that filled that gap.
mhm.
So, and I, naive going in thinking that, not that I was going to replace anybody,
Right.
but it's just all that I knew. So I just thought it was going to be a
Right.
smooth group.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Like, this is our story, and I'm okay with that.
And it's a beautiful one. I love it. Okay. So, never mind. You don't answer me. My second question was a lot of moms feel pulled in the roles. Like, have you learned to navigate them different hats? My girl said, listen, she heard her answer the question. She learned to navigate it.
I figured it out. And it's still, I feel like every day is a new lesson because, okay, no, not only did Riley and I have one kid, but now we have 3 kids together. So now there's a blended family of 5 children. That's 5 kids needing me, 5 kids needing 5 different things at any given time. 5 kids that want my attention, sometimes all at once, sometimes individually. And so finding that groove of splitting my time, okay, with, okay, this kid needs my time, but this one needs my time, has been difficult. Like, motherhood has taught me so much about myself, about strength, about grace, about understanding, about humility. Like, I wasn't expecting all of that going into motherhood. I was young, was like, oh, I'm just going to have this cute baby and I'm going to do things differently than my parents did and everything's going to be great. Nope, what my parents did, there was a lot of stuff that they did right. A lot of things that they did right. Are there a couple things that I've changed? Yes, because it's just my journey.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and act like my parents didn't have some of it right. They had a lot of it right. And just figuring it out as I go.
100%. I say all the time that our parents gave us something, whether we choose to see it or not, the good or the bad. They gave us some things that I know I said when I was younger. I'll never do that to my kids. But I find myself saying and doing the very things that I'm like, because I understand it differently. As a kid, you think it's punishment. But the truth is, it's just like our Heavenly Father's always protection.
Yeah.
Always trying to look out for the best interests. And, but navigating is hard. It's hard when they're my own.
Right.
They're mine. So I can only imagine what it looks like for you, bringing in your bonus sons to be able to navigate that as well. Because like you said, people, oh, she's doing that for them. And it's just like,
It became a tit for tat for a long time. And I had to realize, like, I can't get into that. And as much as it still hurts, and I think it'll probably forever hurt because I'm human, I just don't wallow in that hurt.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that I hurt. I acknowledge that it triggered me, but I don't let it affect me as a person and who I am to them, even regardless of what things that they'd have said to me. And as much as teenagers are hard, I'm able to have a better conversation with them. They're more understanding than we give them credit for. And so we've sat down and talked about, okay, hey, I didn't like when you did this. And they were like, hey, I didn't know any better. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. And I did think about that. So I need to apologize to you as well. And so it's been a lot of that. It's been good.
Good. Y'all, did you hear that? It's okay for you to sit and talk to your kids. They understand probably more than we give them credit for.
More than a lot more than we give them credit for. Do they need to know every detail? Absolutely not. But they do need to know something. You should be able to apologize to your kids. You should be able to have a conversation with them. And it's not always because I said. It's okay to explain some things to your children.
Listen, and what you said earlier, I'll go back to that. Like, every child needs something different from you. I have one child that needs to know the details. Her brain works in the details. I have another child that's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. She don't want to know nothing, where we're going, what we do. She's just like, what time we got to be ready, And I have my other daughter who's a little bit of both, but she's the oldest. But, like learning to navigate, like, okay, she doesn't need that from me, but I'm trying to show up in that way as a mom, and it's causing this. But it's like, that's not what I need from you. So I love that you said, like finding my space in that. All right. If you can give someone that's walking into a blended family advice, what would be the thing if they're walking in for the first time? You didn't have children, maybe they don't. What would be the one thing that you would say to them?
Like I said before, if your partner trusts you in this, trust yourself, but also leave selfishness at the door. It's okay that you're not going to always be top priority. You're walking into a situation. If you want something top priority and it's only about you, blended family is not for you. And I'm okay to tell you that that's not for you. But if you are willing and open to loving, and it may not look like that fairy tale that you dreamed of as a kid, and if you're okay with it being different, then okay, pursue the relationship, but be honest with yourself, be honest with your intentions, and be honest with your feelings, because jealousy is a real thing. It's a human emotion. And if you don't check that, it'll come out, it'll show itself. Being selfish will show itself. How you interact with your bonus children, how you interact with their parent, how you interact with your spouse or soon-to-be spouse. All of that will show itself if you're not checking in with yourself, if you're not being self-aware. So take all of that into one thing and really just self-check in and trusting yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So that leads me to another question. Like, because I feel like some people would be like, well, that, there should have been a level of respect. Did you ever feel like there wasn't, or maybe that what you thought the respect would be from both sides? Or
there was an assumption there.
Okay.
There was definitely, like I said, I walked into this naive thinking it was going to look a certain way. And when it didn't look a certain way, I had to sit back and really check in with myself. Okay, am I really about to do this? Is this the man that I marry? He comes with this. Am I okay with that? Deep down inside, can I handle this for the rest of our lives? And that took a lot of prayer. That took a lot of conversations with him. But it also took a lot of just sitting with myself and being like, okay, but you can't complain later. You can, but what is that going to do for you?
Yeah.
Granted, there's a lot of things that I didn't know would happen. So walking into certain situations, you're not going to know every detail. And that's hard in itself.
Right.
So there are certain things that you have to realize that you're not going to know and still walk forward in it. And that was hard too. Without going into specifics, there's just parts of the story that I just could never in a million years thought would happen. And so when it did, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to navigate. I didn't know how to handle it. I just had to trust, okay, Lord, you got me here. How you get me out of here? Because I can't, for my own mental sake, I can't stay here. I can't be in chaos. That's not how I was raised. That's not how I thrive. That's not what I wanted for my life. So I need you to put your hands on this and find me some peace if you want me to stay here.
Ooh, I felt that. Finding peace in the middle of the chaos, y'all. You can. You just have to choose to.
Right.
Because life happens to us all. And so I'm so proud of you for waking up and making that decision, like saying, okay, I feel like this is the step. This is where I'm supposed to go. Well, you got to give me some peace in this.
Right.
Like some of us need to shift in prayers, like, Lord, I'm here, but I need the peace to remain.
Right.
I love
It
that.
had to be like it was not negotiable, Lord. I have to feel your presence and peace within this. Or this is definitely not for me, because if I do it on my own, I'm just adding to the chaos. And adding to the chaos is not going to benefit the kids at all. And so, and you just have to be okay with being quiet.
Listen, strength though, that's so much strength. Because there's so many of us that wouldn't have been able to do that.
Right.
Like, I'm his wife, I've
Right.
seen, you see the things and you were willing to say, you know what, I'm going to lay self aside. Like, that's such strength. You're so strong to be able to walk through that and say, I'm going to lay self aside. I tell people that my husband and I, we have 3 daughters and it's been just us. But like when I have friends and they separate, I was like, you have got to put your feelings aside. And I said, and I'm not telling you from a I've done it perspective. But what I am telling you is the children come first in the relationship. That's why I tell people when you're dating, be so careful because children get attached and there's just so much to navigate,
So many parts.
But the most important part of it should be the children.
Yes.
And I think when we as adults can think from that perspective, what you did happen.
And I think my educational background, that's where it really helped me, is I realized I had to put them first, their needs, their wants, even their understanding of the situation be broken down on their level, that regardless of how it's panning out, I know for myself, I can go to sleep at night knowing that my intentions were in the right place, regardless of how it looks, how it appears. Me, myself and the Lord knows where my intentions were.
Right.
And I sleep just fine.
I know. It's okay, period. She was like, I'm going to make sure these babies okay, and I'm going to go to bed.
And I'm gonna
All right? I love that. Okay. And other people say, like you were talking about, like the tension and all the things that happens when you have that blended family. What's one practice or thing that helped you bring the peace? I know you said finding the peace, but was there something that, did you have to play a song? Like, what'd you have to do to kind of get yourself to that?
I had to trust my husband.
Yeah.
I would air out my grievances to him and trust that he would handle it. Because there's a lot of it that it was not my place to speak on it. It wasn't my place to air it out. It wasn't my place to be involved. If you trust me with your kids, then I trust you enough with me to know that I need you to handle this. And whatever way that looks like.
I trusted my man enough to know that he was going to handle what he knew I needed to.
Right.
Honoring where he was with the mom of the first children. And honoring the kids, but also honoring you.
And it took some time. I can't sit here and act like it was an overnight thing.
Oh, yeah.
The first conversation, we got it right. No, but it was me repeatedly telling him and being okay with telling him what I needed, but also what I wanted. Sometimes did we have to compromise? Absolutely. But other times, no, you're not going to disrespect my wife. You're not going to disrespect what we're building. Nobody is allowed. And once I saw that from him, I was good. I knew, like, okay, I can sit back. Now I be in his ear like,
okay, man.
I mean, even when it comes to his parenting, because our parenting styles are so different. But I'm like, listen, I need this. The kids need this. And if you trust me, then no, I'm not telling you this just to nag you. No, this is going to help us all. Once we got to that place, I feel like our marriage got better because it's so hard when you are in a blended family and there is outside presences that feel like they can step in and take place. And I wouldn't say we didn't do a good job at shutting it out, but it's hard to shut it out.
Yeah.
It
has to be. This is like family where you could be like,
you gotta go.
And we get, and I think that's important thing too. We sometimes feel like we have to listen to what people are saying. Well, I have this and I have kids or I have that and all the things. And it's like, okay, but you can't speak to this situation because we know what's going on in here. Y'all see what is presented to you on the outside.
Right.
But we know the conversations, we know the things that we're doing in our home to work to make our dynamic better. I love that. Trust that the partner that you have is going to honor what you say. The grievances or the things that you bring to them. I know that's one of the things I had to learn. It's like, maybe my husband doesn't instantly move, but that doesn't mean he's not thinking about it. Because my brain is like, I ain't seeing no action. He ain't doing nothing.
Exactly. And that was me in the earlier parts of our marriage. That was 100% me. And he has had to sit me down a few times and be like, I got it. And I'm like, I don't see, but I got it. And then once I realized his got it was different than my got it, you had it.
I think we forget. I know for me, I have to remind myself, like, your husband is not you. His process is not yours. How he moves is not like you. And thank goodness it's not, because I am all things like, and he's very calm, cool. I got it. And I'm learning, even now, we've been married 23 years, and it's still like learning, like, I can trust that he has it.
Right.
Even though I feel like I don't see the movement I need in my brain,
right,
I can trust that he is processing it and he's thinking about it. And then lo and behold, when I do that, I start to see it. I'm like, it should have happened a week ago,
Right.
but that's just me. And then I'm like, God, let me find the gratitude and the gratefulness and not the little steps that you're taking are adding up. Because little steps bring small change out. We think it's got to be this massive leap or jump, and it doesn't.
It does not. It does not. And like looking back over the last 10 years, I can see the small steps. I can see like the picture has just been so clear for me lately. And I'm so grateful for that. And I know we have a long ways to go because maybe we still got to get through high school. It's still a ways to go. But I'm grateful for where it's going. I'm grateful for the relationship that our kids have built, because that in itself, I was unsure of what that looks like because the 3 little ones didn't understand why their brothers had to leave. They didn't understand, especially when they were younger. Aubrey used to call me, hey, Miss Jackie. Nope, I'm mom to you. Trying to explain that 3 times over, trying to get them, but also watching their bond. And then also realizing that they have siblings on their mom's side. So being okay with all of the siblings being together. That was the one thing that they wanted for their 12th birthday, was a party with all of their siblings there. That was probably the most beautiful thing I had seen in such a long time. For one, that they asked, but all of them together, the smiles on those two faces, it was worth it. It's worth being uncomfortable. It's worth sitting through things that you don't want to have to sit through for that reaction. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being uncomfortable for them.
Did y'all hear that? Sometimes you have to be willing to be uncomfortable to get to the place of love that
Right.
you wanted to see, the joy and all the things. And then it makes the hardship worth it.
Absolutely. I'm not going to know how uncomfortable I was. I'm never going to sit and be like, yeah, I did this for you. Granted, I did do this for you, but I also, doing it for you taught me something.
Doing something for somebody else can teach you something. Hope you heard that nugget. Okay. I wrote Motherhood in 2025 looks different than like we were talking about, like when you were raised or when I was raised, because I'm a little bit older. But what do you think is the biggest challenge moms are facing right now?
So it's two things for me, and I can only speak for myself. Social media. Social media has such a big presence in how you see mothering, but how you see other people mothering, that if you're not careful, it'll make you feel like you're doing it all wrong. And that is some of the outside noise. Granted, it's the noise that you created because you're taking the time to look through social media. But that's also a silent outside noise that you need to put away, because social media is only showing you what it wants you to show. I don't know the hustle and bustle of some of these people and what they go through on a day-to-day. This room could be clean and the rest of their house looks disastrous, and I'll never know, but they could make it seem like their whole house is aesthetically pleasing. And I had to be okay with my aesthetics not looking like what I saw on social media. My motherhood journey not looking like what I saw, even within my friend groups, and realizing like it's okay that mine looks different because it's mine. I just need to be grateful for what I have. And for a short period of time, I was so busy trying to look a certain way, trying to appear a certain way, that I wasn't enjoying motherhood at all. There was no aspects of it that I was enjoying. I was like, well, Lord, you gave me these kids. What am I going to do now? Wait a minute. I feel like I got in over my head. But and I was quickly reminded, you're doing it your way, not my way. And I was like, okay. So what does your way look like then? And that is where I had to sit with myself and strip all of everything, how my mom raised me, what I thought motherhood was going to be like. I had to grow up because I was naively thinking from just a sight perspective what this was supposed to be. And when it wasn't, I was ready to bail. And that, like I said, it's a job I can't be fired from. I don't get to leave. No matter how hard it is, I don't get to leave. And so once I realized, okay, I'm kind of stuck here, how are we going to make the best of this? And that's when I realized I wasn't looking at my kids as tiny humans. I was looking at them as tiny robots that should do as I say and not as I do. I wasn't looking at them as I'm raising the next generation. I'm just trying to survive day to day. I wasn't looking at them as the Lord has a calling on their life. He brought them here for a reason, and I'm just supposed to oversee this and protect them. No, I felt like I needed to fix them because I needed to fix me. And if I need to fix me, then there's got to be something wrong with them. And once I started stripping all of that stuff away, ultimately I was just stripping everything that I thought was wrong with me, because that's all I could see in my kids. I could see everything that was wrong with me in my kids. When they did something that I didn't like, those are the bad parts of me. The ones that I was hiding, that the skeletons in my closet that I didn't want anybody to see. Your kids are a reflection of you. You get to decide what that reflection looks like, though.
Girl, she preaching today, okay? But I hope y'all are listening. It's so true. It's so often. Girl, I don't even got words. I don't think. And I think that's the first on the squad. That was so profound. Like, we don't think that we are. One of the things that I say is God, their doors before their mind. Like, help me steward them well, whatever that looks like. And so often it is the parts of us that we see. My friends say, oh my gosh, they're the double side of me, the side of me that's like, don't play with me, or the side of me that's like, come on, let me bring you the love of Jesus. And that's okay, because I thought there was something, well, I got to do better. I can't have that, don't do that. So I'm like, no, all parts of you work together, but it's also realizing like I had to learn to love me. I couldn't love my kids in the right way because Tocha did not love Tocha.
Right.
And so I had to do the work to come to a place where it was like, I love me so then I can reframe my love for them, because I just wanted them to be perfect. Like I was trying to be, because that's what I was told I needed to be, and all the things. I love what you said about be okay with your aesthetic not looking like someone else's.
Yeah.
That you go clock right there. Do you understand? It's okay if my Instagram picture got my shoes over there in the corner. They right there. I'll turn the camera around. My shoes over there in the corner and stuff on the table. I had to learn that, especially my youngest two are a year and a half apart. They're not twins. I used to always say I wanted twins. They're not twins, but honey, they might as well would have been. They were a year and a half apart to the day, January 8th, July the 8th. Y'all, it was so difficult because I was like, oh, they got to do this and got to be perfect and got to be this. You know where the revelation came for me? We were at a birthday party and they were coloring a picture. And my little was all things, I'm going to wear this rainbow with this cheetah print and zebra print and my rainbow boots. And y'all ain't going to tell me I could fly this thing out there in the streets, okay? She was very much that kid. I'm a mix and all the things. And we were at a party and they were coloring or doing something. And I was like, oh, you got to make sure you stay in the lines and just something to that effect. And my friend later said, she was saying, yeah, my friend Tocha. And she was like, oh, you mean the lady with the two girls that has to have everything perfect? And I was like,
Yeah.
like I didn't even know her. But I'm like, she was like she wouldn't even let her daughter just like color. She was like, oh, it's got to be like this perfect picture. And I was like,
Yeah.
if that was not a self-reflection for me, or when I heard my kids playing house and they were like, be mom. And they were like, why is this not clean? Why is this not done? Why is this not? And I realized that was what I grew up with. When I come home, this better be done and this better be done. And I was like, that's going to be what they remember of me.
Yeah.
If I left here tomorrow.
Yeah. That was a real one for me. And especially having daughters. My goodness, the emotional journey that I had to go on just because I knew they were watching me. I had to fix me. I love my sons down. Don't get me wrong. I love them down, but I could never teach them how to be a man. But my daughters, I'm not teaching them how to be a wife. I'm not teaching them how to be a mother. First and foremost, I am teaching them how to be a woman. Because that's the first thing that they're going to know to be before their wives and before their mothers. They're going to be women. I get to cultivate what that looks like, what that experience is. Man, that excites me now. Before it used to terrify me. Now it excites me.
Girl, yes.
Because wow, what a privilege that is to get to be
Yes.
a representation of what they could become. Granted, I want them to be better than me. But I had to lower my expectations a whole lot. I was that mom. Everything hair in place. You go in here, you mind your manners. You don't say anything, not a peep. My toddlers didn't get to be toddlers. I needed them to be tiny robots. And once I realized the damage that was doing, I was stripping the childhood that I wanted them to have. I wanted them to have a childhood that they weren't going to recover from. Girl, I was sending them to therapy.
Girl,
I was on fast track for them to go on somebody's couch. Granted that all of my kids are going to have a different experience because all of them got a different version of me. So I do experience that their experience is going to be different from this one. It may send somebody to somebody's couch.
And it's okay.
And that is okay. I'm okay with that. But I also realized that I needed to let them be who they were and not who I wanted them to be.
Girl, listen, that was the revelation I had when she said that. I really went and sat with myself and was like, okay, Tasha. And it was like, some part of you doesn't feel good enough to express who you are. So you're trying to make them this perfect little picture of what was. And that's telling God he made a mistake.
Right.
He made her. When you used to say, what's your favorite color? She'd say rainbow, because I love all the colors. And I would be like, no, you got to pick one. And she was like, and so she was that free spirit. She's like, I'm going to be a hippie when I grow up. And I was like, maybe in her world, the bottom of the tree is green and the top is brown.
Right.
And who am I to say that that's wrong?
Right.
You know, I had to learn, like, I can't put on them what I would have wanted to happen for me as a child. I can only honor who they are and where they are and respect that and let them be them. You know, I had my one who had to be put together and all the things match. And then I had my one who was like, this cheetah and this zebra go together with these yellow shoes. Y'all better catch this vibe.
Right.
And but what was crazy was like, she had like, you would have thought, like, when people were like, that don't match, she's like, you don't match. And I'm like, oh. She was that kid that just had that internal confidence.
Yes.
It was not external.
Definitely have one of those.
It was that internal that I look fly.
Right.
Okay. And my oldest would be like, you're going to let her wear that? And I'm like, I am. I'm going to let her out here. Even though the old version would be like, I had them always matching, always outfit. And she was just like, no, like, that is not who I am. And I had to, because I had the two, and I would buy them the same things. And then she would wear it, and she would be, and I was like, people don't think, but I do take care of her.
Right.
I do. She has them in the drawer. She just chooses not to wear them.
There we go.
You know, and when we had our middle, and I had to remove the story that I was worried about people saying, knowing they're taken care of. They're just two different kids.
Outside noise.
Girl, I say it all. Turn down the background noise.
It's hard.
You know, you gotta be willing to turn down the static and get back to the center and get back to
Yes, my girls are 18 months old, so I was the one buying them all the matching things. And when my oldest decided, I don't want to match with my sister, that broke me.
Girl, what you mean? These is cute.
And my middle, she has such a big personality in a teeny tiny body. And I had to realize parenting her is a lot different than parenting my oldest. They are night and day. But I don't want to break either one's spirit because listen, I am raising two headstrong people in two different ways.
Yes.
One is going to be an activist and one is going to be president. And
listen, we're trying to figure it out.
We don't figure it out. It's been
so true.
It's just different. Realizing that you are not in control. And it made me realize how much of a control freak I am. When I tell you motherhood has taught me so much about myself and how much I had to surrender, but how much I thought I had surrendered. And then he's like, here's another one. No,
girl, listen.
Here's one more. No, you didn't. You thought you did this, but here it is. It's just coming up a different way. You didn't pull that root up. You just took the branch off.
Girl. That replay is serious. Okay. Don't run it back. I'm like, oh my gosh. I thought I did. Like, I was just telling somebody on the phone earlier before you got here. I was telling her one of the things that I had to learn with my middle was that as a mom, I always wanted to fix it. All my kids, you know, as a parent, I think we just want to fix the things. And for her, she one time said, I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen. I feel like you're trying to coach me. Girl, oh my, when I tell you that slapped me in my face and hit me in my heart, I was like, what? And she was like, I feel like I'm like one of your, I just need you to listen. I don't need you to try to fix it. Yeah. Y'all, when you were talking about that broke me and that broke me to my core because I'm like, but that's my job as your mom. And I'm like, so if I'm not trying to fix it, I'm not doing my job. And she was like, no, Mom, there are times, and yes, I know you're going to come and fix it because I know you're my mom. But there's sometimes when I just need you to listen to what's on my heart and not try to fix it. Yeah. Man, y'all, I'm about to cry. Yeah. It really took me sitting with myself and saying, I don't want my kids feeling like I'm their coach. I want I'm their cheerleader. I want them to feel like I'm their mom, that I am gonna advocate for them, but I also have to honor that they're 16 and 15 now, and they're going, getting out of high and I did my best to raise them to be strong
Right.
and intelligent and capable young women, and I have to trust that now. That's the
Right.
season that I'm in,
Yeah.
is learning to trust that I've given them. You told them to be and now you like got an attitude because they are.
Right.
So I really had to humble myself
Yes.
and say, I am sorry. I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Moving forward, could you just let me know when you want me to, where we are, if you want me to listen?
Right.
But then it's hard to be like, okay, I feel like I'm not parenting.
It's different.
And people are like, oh, you don't. And I'm like, no, I give them. One of the things for me, and you can tell me where you land with this, was I always wanted to teach them how to make choices. So I would present 2 uses or 3, which one, pick one. And they're like, why are you giving them a choice? Because I want them to trust that they can trust their choices.
Right.
Because I never learned how to do that.
Exactly.
And so I always second guess everything that I did. And even sometimes now, like, was that the right? Maybe. And so I wanted to teach them to make good choices, that they could trust their inner voice.
Right.
Because we all have one.
Huge.
I never learned how to trust I'm learning.
Right.
And, way further than I was. But being okay with my inner dialogue, making sure that it's healthy and trusting my voice.
But I even struggled with a voice, period, because
Yeah,
I grew
I
up
didn't have
hearing
one. Yes,
I was
speak
too
one.
emotional.
Yeah.
You're just so sensitive. And so I took that as a bad thing, and I never said
Same
anything.
thing.
So I'm internally boiling, just overfilled with emotion, wanting to scream and never could, because when I grew up, children were seen and not heard.
Did you be disrespectful if you
And
say
so
anything?
now my kids are heard. My kids have a voice. And now I'm navigating why certain people were like, kids are seen and not heard, because now they're speaking to me and I'm like, okay, but you can't speak to me like that. So now I'm learning to give them the proper tools to use that voice. But I also had to teach myself that. But then going back to when you were saying that you had to just figure out your daughter, she wanted you to listen. I was a helicopter mom because my middle child only has one kidney. And so I felt like my job was to protect her at all costs. We only have one kidney, and if that kidney goes bad, I'm going to lose my child. Like, I was in a state of panic for a long time that I didn't even let her do the simple things. I would carry her. She is too big. She's tiny, but she was old enough to be walking. But I was so afraid to just put her down, that if my eyes weren't on her, something would happen. If I wasn't watching her at all times, something would happen, to the point that she grew very attached. And I realized, my mom made me realize, and so did my other friends, especially Dee, they helped me to realize that I was crippling her in a way that I never meant to. I just thought I was protecting her. I can't protect her from everything. I'm just here that there are certain things I'm going to protect her from, and there are certain things that I'm going to be here to hold her hand to help her heal from. And it's just discerning which one it is.
Yeah, which
and you don't get to pick.
Yes.
She's going to fall. She's going to get hurt. We're going to go to doctor's appointments. She's going to get sick. And I just have to navigate and trust that whatever the Lord says, this is the reason. Hardest thing in my life.
Girl, hardest.
Sending her to school is the hardest thing. Every day that they get out of the car, I'm like, all right, I'm panicking, but I still go.
Yeah.
We still got to go.
Yeah.
Still have a job. I still have something I have to do.
Girl, listen, I say every day, God, you got them. And so I just have to remind myself, like, he does have them, even though I feel like he didn't trust them to us, but they're still his, and he got them better than I ever could.
And I say that to them, and I had to realize, do I mean what I say? So when my kids, we do affirmations every morning. And at the end of our affirmations, we say it, feel it, mean it. Speak life over your body, feel it inside, and then walk with a purpose. Mean what you say. And I had to sit back, and I'm telling them all the things, and I'm like, but do I mean it, Lord? I'm telling them to mean it, but do I mean it? Because I am anxiety written every time they get out of this car. Every time they're not in my sight. Every time something goes wrong, I'm panicking. Lord, you gave me all this anxiety. What do I do with it?
Yeah.
How do I handle it? And I've come to realize I have to go through it because I have an anxiety-ridden child. Granted, I probably gave it to her. It is teaching me to teach her.
Like, it's okay. Yeah, same. Like I said, all different. Same. My oldest, I helicopter parented her because I didn't want her to, it was my first. So
Right.
just
You hold it.
keep it in the little bubble in the box. When she started kindergarten, I honestly thought she was going to have to repeat it. She missed so much school because she didn't go to take care. She was with me.
Yeah.
We didn't go a whole lot of places with a whole lot of people. She got sick if you looked at her.
Yep.
She missed so much school because she caught so many germs. So then when I had my middle, it was like, okay, let her be around some people. But she was my very outside of the box child, very, very emotionally aware, and emotions are high. Like, and then my little was my climber and running. And my husband was like, she's gonna hurt her. I'm like, you're right, she is. Because I would be like, oh. And it was like, I am going to run myself crazy between the two of them. My middle never slept, never. Did not take naps or any of that. And then my little, maybe a little nap, but big sis would be like, let's get up and play. And so my little didn't sleep, and my middle did not sleep, and my little woke up as soon as the sun cracked the sky. And it was like, that's when I started drinking coffee, girl. I had never drank coffee a day in my life. I have it every morning. Now I'm like, what in the world? So just learning that there are two different dynamics. You can't parent them the same. You can't be there for every moment. My husband's like, you're just going to let her climb? Yes, because that's her process. It don't matter how many times I say, don't do it. She has to do it. She has to climb. I just knew we were going to go to jail. She was stomach bruise. Her sister said, climb on the window. She climbed. So hit her. I'm like, I gotta go to jail.
And it's so different because I had girls. I had the oldest boys, but the dynamic was different. So now I have this toddler son of mine that I'm like, what is this? Because I'm used to the girls, the drama, the tears. This one never runs out of energy. The only time he's not moving is when he's sleeping. And he's my climber and my jumper, my Spider-Man, the ones that's climbing my crown molding. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What did I do wrong? And so just finding the balance of the dynamic. I did want to add one more thing to that question. You said, what is one thing that, it's hard for moms of 2025? I expected this ready-made village to knock on my door when I had my first child. And that was not the case. Some people do get the ready-made village. I was one of those people that had to build my village. And I want people to know that it is okay if your village is not what you thought it was going to look like. I had to build mine. And I'm grateful that I did have that process because now I know I have the people that the Lord needed me to have. But I will say it was a little lonely at first because I was waiting on the knock at the door. My mom, I'll never forget, Ronnie J went back to work. My mom's like, hey, I got to go to work. Who's going to be here with me? You and your baby. What do you mean?
I'm sorry. The movies, they be there with pie and cook. I'm confused.
So I had to understand that my parents weren't going to be the parents or the grandparents that I wanted them to be. And that doesn't make them bad grandparents by any means. They weren't going to be the ideal of you can drop them off anytime you want. You can be, I'll keep them for the weekend. They weren't busting my door down. Yes, I want to see my grandbabies. Okay, here you go. That's your baby back. My mom, they outside, these books. My mom made it very clear to me that her kids are adults and now it's time for me to live my life. And at first I didn't understand that. Because what do you mean? I need help. No, but I'm so grateful for that because now it just showed me the mom that I wanted to be. And I got out of her footsteps of trying to be what I thought I should be looking from her, that I walked into who I'm supposed to be, the kind of mom I want to be, the kind of woman I want to be, with her support beside me, not in front of me.
Hope y'all caught them nuggets. Listen, it's so important to realize that we aren't our parents and that's okay. Yes. There are things we can take from them and not. I tell my daughter the same thing. She's like, you're going to have my baby all the time. I was like, that is not the dynamic. That is not the GT I'm going to be. And she's just like, what? And I'm like, I love you, but there's what you don't understand. She was like, well, you raised me and I just fine. Said, you can do it again.
Mhm.
I said, here's the thing, I could, but it's not my journey to.
Right.
And you have such beautifulness in you that I didn't give you that was already there. That's what you're going to pass down to them one day. You know, I've done my job as your mom to the best of my ability.
Right.
Now you get to go navigate.
Continue to take care of yourself. Your family benefits from you taking care of you. And if you are not taking care of yourself, your kids will feel that. Fill your cup. It is okay to be a woman and then be a wife and then be a mother. You don't have to let those roles overtake you all.
I love that. Listen, it's okay. I think we need to normalize not feeling mom guilt about taking care of ourselves.
Right.
I think we get so like, oh, I have to do this. No, it's okay for you to do something just for you. Honor where you are.
Yes. And that the grocery store is your thing, sure.
Right.
But taking care of your family is not your self-quiet time. Going to the grocery store, taking care of house, it needs to be something that you enjoy. That is yours to enjoy.
Yeah. Yes. Walk on the beach, whatever it is. I don't care, but take the time that you need and don't feel guilty about taking it. It's necessary. I say it all the time. When people are like, oh, you're okay with some good time? Yeah, I am. My name's Tocha.
Right. Thank you.
And they're like, wait, yeah. Hey, yeah. Because I am those things and I'm also me. I was me first. Honor being you. Jackie, this has been so good. No, thank you. I'm so thankful that we had that conversation and you were like, I need to talk about blended families. I'm like, you know what? We do need to talk about blended families. So, we're going to get into rapid fire. This is my favorite part. Questions, and you just say first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
All right, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay, beach vacation or mountains?
Beach.
Okay, period. Your mom anthem right now.
Ooh. I don't think I have
A song that you just jam out to in the car.
Oh, man.
Or sing in the shower and don't even realize you're singing it.
Probably Outside by Cardi. Sorry,
Hey,
Ronnie J. Hey, Ronnie J.
Okay, outside. What's one word you would use to describe your mother journey right now, 2025? What's one word?
Authentic.
I love it. Okay, authentic. What's your guilty pleasure snack when the kids go to bed?
Cheesecake.
I love cheesecake. Oh, I love
Or ice cream sandwich.
Okay, I love that. If you had a day completely to yourself, no kids, no responsibilities, what's the first thing you're doing?
I'm going to the spa.
Okay, listen.
I'm getting a facial.
Good spa day facial in the building. I love it. Thank you so much, Jackie. Y'all, there were so many nuggets. If you need to rewind, replay, one of the things that I think I heard the most from you is humble yourself, and it's okay. And it's okay for you to have your voice in the blended family dynamic, but also be humble enough and have enough humility to be able to say, it's not about me, it's about the kids.
About the kids.
You know? I think that's the overarching theme of all the things that you've said. If I could put it in a box, I think that'd be what I'd take. Your heart posture.
Yeah. Going into a blended family, just always know your heart posture and check in with yourself and trust your partner.
Y'all heard it. Heart posture, check in with yourself, and trust your partner. That's the three. Y'all know we believe in the Trinity over here. She gave y'all the three. Last drops. Jackie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming. It was so much fun. Y'all, I will have her social media links down so you can connect with her. I'm sure she'd be willing to answer any questions if you had something about, hey, how did you navigate this? I'm always so thankful that when I have opportunities to have people on that I don't do them all by myself so that you can get wisdom from other people that have lived through this situation. And she would be willing, like she said, to answer questions to help you navigate. You have a community, y'all.
Yes,
and
use it.
Use it. Y'all, we are a part of the squad. We are here to encourage you to walk in the best version of yourself. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Jackie, thank you again. I appreciate you coming and just sharing your heart. I know somebody's going to benefit and somebody's life will be changed from it. So
it's all right. It's just one person.
Listen.
Thank you for that.
Y'all, squad, thank y'all so much for tuning in with us today. Remember, we have switched to bi-weekly, so Jackie's episode will be this week. We won't be with you next week, but then the next week, I got another special guest for you. Miss Tanya Robinson will have been in the building, and she is a whole lot of. Chaddy knows her too. She's such a sweet, beautiful soul. So I can't wait for y'all to hear that episode. Y'all, thank you for tuning in. Remember, your purpose connects to someone else. They can't walk in theirs if you are not walking in yours. And you are always fighting for her, your healing, your evolution, and your reclaiming. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time. Bye.